Just another thought today that's been brewing regarding the series The Chosen. I did a video on this, I think, last week, but it just keeps. That's how I know if I really resonate with something is if it's sticky, if something just kind of keeps coming up. And this one reflected something that's been coming up for me for years. Basically, it didn't start with The Chosen, but I had a conversation with someone in my program this week, and their feedback reminded me of this principle is that I saw reflected in how Jesus felt in the story that was shown on Netflix or wherever it is in The Chosen. And but this person said, I have felt very alone. It's a in my in my heart, in my beliefs, in my philosophies, in my truths, the deep truths that I align with that you can't take away from me. I feel very alone. It's a lonely road. I'm just paraphrasing many things, but also throwing in there how it feels for me. How many of you, in whatever area of your life, feel like nobody really understands you? You can talk to someone, but you can kind of see their eyes glaze over, or they're quick to argue with you. Yeah, but. I'm like, okay. So, what I got from watching The Chosen, which was very confirming and helpful, because what I saw Jesus model in that series, he didn't try to convince anyone. In fact, he even had an expectation. We see it reflected even in the parable of the sower. It's a universal truth. Many are called, few are chosen. Um, the parable of the sower talks about the fertile soil has ears to hear. And Jesus would say that. Okay, you don't, I love you, but you don't have ears to hear my message, my seed that I'm throwing out there, my philosophies, my understandings, my truths. And throughout my life, it feels like I have been a little bit of an outlier, a little bit of a, I've been called a, what's the word when you just argue with people? Contrarian, like you're just looking for an argument, Kim. And I had judged myself harshly. Really, I had realized now with my observation metacognition brain intact that uh, that I had judged myself as being a problem child, or why can't you just agree and get along? Why do you have to say, why do you have to bring that up? Why do you have to, right? I How many of you feel, I don't know. Again, I don't know. And here's what I've really learned, and I'm going to throw this out at those of you who know this feeling, is shifting just back to this is my truth, and here's my seed I'm sowing in the world. Here's my ideas, here's my beliefs, here's my processes, here's me, basically. It's just being vulnerable and authentic. Here's me. And what gets us in trouble, speaking to myself, is the attachment that people get it like I do. There's a game, I had just thought of this. There's a game called Blank Slate, by the way. If you see this game at Target or on Amazon or whatever, it is a fabulous game, and we're big game people. But here's the deal. It gives you either a starting word or an ending word, and you can only add one or two words to it at the beginning of the word or the end. So blank slate, right? That's an example of the game itself. But I mean, when we were playing this at Christmas, we had, I don't know, 8 or 10 people. I don't know how many. It was a lot of people. It's really fun. But when you're filling out your word that you think's going to go with the word they gave you, for example, um, sky, right? Um, Obviously, you're going to say blue sky, right? Like what you have in your mind as the answer, everyone's going to get it. See, if more people get it than you, then somehow it gives you points or takes away points. Anyway, I forget now that. But the point is as I was filling out this game and putting my word, I'm like, this is so easy. Everyone's going to say this. You know how many times nobody else said the word that was so obvious to me? Oh, the majority of time. In fact, it got laughable towards the end of the game because I'm like, I think everyone's going to get this, but probably they won't. So how that relates, that's why I just thought of it. How this relates to being lonely is we are surprised when people aren't like us. In fact, going into life, going into relationships, going into business, going into um, just relationships in general, friendships, aren't you surprised when someone really isn't like you or thinks like you? Like, I remember just having that feeling like, wait, what? Wait, you really think that? Wait, really? And then when I'm espousing my whatever that is for me, I'd see their eyes go, or I'd hear them go, yeah, but blah, 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 blah. I'm like, wait, this isn't obvious to you? I love it. It's a human dynamic component, and it precedes this feeling, or it creates this feeling after a while of I'm alone in how I feel about this. I'm alone. Like, and I feel I can't not believe what I believe. I can't believe something I don't believe just to make you happy and to fit in with you and to do what you want. Like, it's all back to that people pleasing track. But it's lonely. And when I watched The Chosen and I watched Jesus's model, which I believe Jesus is here to show us who we are. There's my one lonely. I'm lonely a lot in that belief, but I can't see it differently. So that watching The Chosen, I watched it not as someone to worship, but someone that actually inspires me to be who I am, because I am equivalent in spiritual DNA to Jesus. I am got the piece of the divine in me as well. I'm part human and part spiritual. Like, I'm part supernatural and part physical. Okay, there's a lonely concept to a lot of you for me. But when I was watching that, he knew it was going to be lonely. In fact, how they portrayed this from a movie standpoint was so powerful. Like, I really liked the writers, and I didn't feel a very strong, like, preachy agenda behind it. So it leaves you exactly how it left me, just with this feeling of, okay, who am I? Who am I and what's possible for me? In fact, Jesus even says that. But I'm watching his face as even the closest to him were confused. When the closest to him, their eyes glazed over. And I don't blame them. And nor have I. And now that is the key. It's like, if people can't hear you, it's not because it's not a reflection of you. Because if you look at the universal principles, the parable of the sower, it's going to be the minority of people at any given time are not fertile soil for your seed. So it's on you, it's on me to have an expectation different than that. And when I expect someone to think like I do, or to believe like I do, or agree with me, and my agenda, again, back to the monster, my need to be right, that's your little litmus test. Because when you get worked up, when people don't agree, or they don't understand, or they're just not there, they're a blank slate, it reveals to you what you're up to. So I've had to watch my responses and not with judgment, but with just assessment, and say, why did that push your button, Kim? Why did you feel the need to prove something, or to convince, or so that's really my message today. It's like, what I noticed in The Chosen is that he who has ears to hear will hear. And it's not really you're not a soil determiner. It's not your job to go make sure the soil hears your message. Your job is to keep your seed pure in the sense of authentic, what you believe. You know what I just noticed right now too, by the way? See this microphone I have in front of me? I really need it because it makes the sound better, but look at this. It's not even plugged in. So maybe, I'm sure you could still hear me. I'll just get rid of this and tell the truth. It's not plugged in. You know what? I just come and show up here and just be real. That's what I love about this kind of platform, is I get to just be real. You can be real. I give you the permission to be real. Jesus gives us all permission to be real and to be unique and to be okay with being lonely. But don't let that stop you from sharing your message. Don't let that stop you, because just as sure as there are people as there are soil that's fertile. Even in the fertile soil example, there are variations on a spectrum. But there's going to be birds, there's going to be weeds, there's going to be, shallow, no root. It's expected. So even as I build businesses where I'm sharing my story with people, I'm sharing my message with people, like what I'm doing right now. If I had the expectation that you're all going to just go, oh yeah, you're right, you're right, you're right. See, then that expectation mismanagement's on me. It's not on the people that don't hear it. It's on me. Because the law says many are called, few are chosen. The law says there's just a small percentage of fertile at any given time. So think about the ideas that you're trying to impart to your family. Or maybe you are in a sales kind of business where you're having an expectation where people are going to see it like you do. People are going to want it like you do. That's the expectation that's the one that causes pain, because it becomes an attachment to a specific outcome and you're breaking the law with it. You just got to abide by the law and realize that just as much as there's those soils that are not fertile, the fertile soil's on the way, and the people that need your message are there waiting for you. So speak up, own your message, and let go of attachment to people accepting it or not. And guess what? They'll even come faster when they don't feel like you need them to agree with you. If you just, I love you and here's my message, and those people that have ears to hear will hear it way better, way faster, way deeper, and you will eliminate a huge amount of suffering. All right. Have a good day.